it was every night I'm not sleeping. And I just remember the feeling of fear I felt every time I was thinking of beds. It was just a non-stop anxiety attack. It never ends. And I was so lonely with that. I was so fearful. What wrong with my body? My body forgot how to sleep. I hear it a lot on this show. What should I do now? I start meditating for hours, like with the questioning, why am I not sleeping? And then some miracle happened. The YouTube's algorithm suggests me your channel. First time like hearing interview and she talking and I'm saying, wait, this is what actually happens to me. It's the first time I understand my not sleeping come from the fear of not sleeping. I could not connect it before that. I was just like, okay, now I'm anxious, but I was always anxious in my past. So I didn't know to say, okay, now I'm anxious because of the fear of what's coming next day. And after that, I went into vacation with friends from my high school. And I remember it was a long drive. I was just, oh, I'm tired now, so I will sleep. During the drive, yeah, my friend drives. All of a sudden, I just sleep in driving, which was absolutely miracle for me. I remember before that, I was watching people doing it, and I felt like so much of jealousy, like, how can you do it? I could not even imagine if it's possible for me to sleep. And then when we get into the vacation, we were camping on some river in the north. I woke up very early, but because of the sun, so I just took the mattress out of the tent and move it into the shadow. And I back sleeping, Daniel, for 13 hours. 13 hours. I was just, oh my God, yes, I found it. Yeah, like I just need to not fear and I will sleep good. It was such a miracle for me. Unfortunately, this did not last. This is what helped me, I know for sure, because I was searching very deeply inside of me where my problem is, what's wrong with me, which in this case was very simple. It was not that deep at all. It was just, I'm just scared of not sleeping. And that's it. I learned how to love myself and forgive myself better. Because if you are not sleeping for so many time, you must stop hate yourself at least.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another really special Talking Insomnia episode. And we have Noam with us. Welcome, Noam.
Hi, I'm so excited being here. It's a great honor for me.
Really nice having you. And just so the audience knows how this came about, I invited everyone in my newsletter who wanted to share their story to do so. And you replied, and I'm so grateful for that. And with that said, let's start from the beginning. How did you start having trouble sleeping, Noam?
So I actually remember the specific night it started. It was in my 12th grade. I was in a boarding school, which is quite common in Israel. It's quite common. And it was very busy time with so many finals and so many things to do. And I just woke up in the middle of the night and there was some electricity fault, or I don't really know what was that noise that kept me awake, like, and I found myself awake after 2 hours of sleeping. And so the following days was terrible for me. I did not focus on the classes, and I was a musician back then. I'm still a musician. I have less time today, but it was quite OCD back then. I was practicing many hours a day as I have to do it, and it was just very stressful day. And I was like, okay, it was only today, like, right? But no, it was not only this night. I went to sleep, and again I woke up, and then it just start like the circle of fear from not sleeping, um, and not sleeping. So in the 12th grade, it's like come and goes. I had the better times, and it went away. It was very like random, I can say. Maybe sometimes when I was sleeping in other bed, so it was better for me, which I know it's a known thing. But I did not notice what make me not sleep. It was a mystery for me why I'm not sleeping. I'm just like awake, and I feel miserable and hopeless, and like what can I do? So after that, I went when I finished school. I just like, okay, I need a vacation, a long vacation. So I went camping on a beach for 2.5 months. And there I was sleeping suddenly very good, no worries. And I say, okay, so it's maybe passed away. I don't really identify I have a problem. I don't have a problem. I just, okay, now I'm good. Now I'm better. I had a tough nights, but it's like one time thing. And then after that, I went to a pre-military school, which in Israel you have to do military. So I went to pre-military school. That it's place to get you in shape and train you, that you get prepared to the army. And there it came back to me, but full power, the insomnia. It was not like the 12th grade that it was on and off. It was every night. I'm not sleeping. And I just remember the feeling of fear I felt every time I was thinking of beds, of going of going to sleep. And I was so anxious, but I did not connect between the anxiety to the sleep, to me not being able to sleep, because I know anxiety for so long. So there I started like very doing a big research on why am I not sleeping, and I'm asking all kinds of therapists and people, and I heard so many terrible things. First of all, I went into a doctor, and they tell me, "Oh, so maybe you have a problem with your heart. You need to go to a sleeping lab." And I went into some spiritual like therapist, like hippie, and we spoke a little bit. And I had a very complicated past in my 16. When I was 15, 16, I was doing a lot of drugs, bad drugs like MDMA, ecstasy, and he told me, "Oh, okay, so this is the problem. This is why you are not sleeping. I don't know if I can help you." So it all went like very, very fast to like not. I was not able to feel tired. I didn't for so many years. I didn't know what to feel tired. It really means. It all replaced with so much anxiety when I'm thinking about sleeping. And then started the like ridiculous amount of sleep efforts, which I was like doing so long rituals of going for a walk with my headphones and breathing, which is nice. Yeah, it's good to do it, but in order to sleep, my intention to do it was, okay, this is how I sleep, so I need so. and it was became so long. These rituals, it's like over an hour before sleep time. It was, and I remember, okay, now I'm getting into the room, the sleeping room, and I just feel anxiety, and I'm sleeping on the bed, and I'm like laying down on bed, and I'm waking up so many times before falling asleep, just to, okay, now I need to close the windows better, or disconnect the electricity, like so many random things that after that I couldn't. I was told myself, okay, after it I can sleep. So it was just like, okay, let me rephrase that. I never had problem falling asleep. I always was waking up in middle of the night and not able to sleep again. So yeah, so there it's everything went very, very badly. And then I went again into a vacation, which there I was sleeping amazing. It was a short vacation, not as long as going on a beach. But then, okay, suddenly I sleep again. So what's happening here? I cannot point out anything. It's really a mystery. It's still a mystery for me. Why am I not sleeping? So then I start a job. Before that, I went into a psychiatrist. When I was in the pre-military school, I understand I don't want to go to the military. So I went to a psychiatrist to help me get an exemption from the army, because I have fear of guns, and like I don't like this whole thing. So I went to the psychiatrist, and I can tell him that I'm not sleeping. Maybe he knows something. It was very well-known psychiatrist. And he said to me, "Oh, that's weird. It should not be that way, that you are not sleeping. Here, take some pills, uh, only for 2 days, just to break the circle, and then you sleep good." And for me, it was like first time I used any pills, chemicals pills. I was doing all the melatonin and all kind of teas, but never went into some early chemical drugs. And he told me, no, you just need it for 2 days and it will stop. And it was such a killer pills. It called Serqual. I told it to another doctor, and he give you what? I was walking like a zombie in these 2 days, and it's stayed with me for so much time, and it did not help, obviously. So then I start working in some storage, a very normal job, but there it it's become like crazy. The insomnia became like I was sleeping 2 or 3 hours a day. I was so busy with that, just it was just a non-stop anxiety attack. It never ends. And I was so lonely with that. I was so fearful. I was just searching what it's a sentence I hear a lot. What wrong with my body? My body forgot how to sleep. I hear it a lot on this show. Yeah, so just pure anxiety, and like what should I do now? So I start meditating for hours, like with the questioning, why am I not sleeping? and nothing really helped. It's like became more and more bad during that time. I remember going on a date. I had a date um, with some girl, and the night before that, it was just so intense, and I was crying so much, and I was like, uh, it was very. I because I really did not know from where it comes. I say it again and again, but it was so. So I started even like thinking, imagining stuff that happens to me, just to find any reason. Just give me anything. I will do. Just tell me what to do. uh, and then I heard first time heard about CBT therapy. I went into some therapist, um, which I want to say that objective, but I really cannot say it's objective. But he was awful therapist. Like he was saying to me all kind of stuff like, "Oh, this is what you think." I was thinking that too, but then I grew up and I understand that I'm wrong. Like therapists should not really say those things. And in one session, he came to me and he told me, "Noam, I understand what your problem is." And I say, "Okay, okay, yes, give it to me." And he did not went to the CBT like uh, believe it. He went, your ideology is very supporting freedom and peace, but your soul needs to be very locked and very organized. I really can't believe I am saying it, because it sounds like it's not real, but yeah, this is what he said to me. So I say, okay, what now? Okay, so what should I do? Just tell me, because if that's will make me sleep, okay, let's do it. And he was saying all kind of stuff. So when you go to travel, you need to have a very restrict schedule, or like, and I say, well, it's weird because I'm now working at 9 hours a day job. It's not enough restrict schedule. I don't know, but he say, no, no, you need more. Anyway, I left this guy gladfully. And then I went into a festival. It's called the Rainbow Festival. It's like place where people going and living in nature, and no electricity allowed, and all day long sitting around fires and like playing and singing. Very fun time. And then I finally slept after 3 months in a row that I'm sleeping 3 hours a day. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. I am seeing a pattern here. So the pattern I identified was, I need to have nothing to do in the following days in order to sleep well. So I said, okay, how should I do it? So I went completely moving into nature. I went to living on the Sea of Galilee, I think it's called, where Jesus walked on the
Yeah.
water. Yeah. So I was camping there for almost 4 months, and just like, see, I think living in nature is amazing stuff, but the place it came for me, it was just, okay, how can I sleep? Just give me to sleep. Okay, this is what I should do. I should live on the beach, have no work tomorrow, have absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. It came, even like my friend even want to come visit me, and I was not sleeping because I was thinking, okay, I should help him, like, come get here. It's very complicated. I was not sleeping. Even this small thing, or like, I'm a chess player. If I was scheduled some game with someone, or I had a chess lesson, so I'm not sleeping. So it became of like quite a I became it. Wait, the I
No,
start
no,
my.
I think sorry for butting in here, but what you're essentially like, just so nobody's, I think it's very clear from your story, but just to emphasize it, it became like a really, really big sleep effort, right? You're changing everything in your life to sleep. You're moving out in nature. You can't have any obligations. And yeah, I've heard many things in this journey, but I haven't heard this one before. It's really a big sleep effort. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, what happened? What happened? Or firstly, maybe how do you even do that? You live in a tent, and how do you cook, and how do you support yourself, and how do you even do that?
Oh, so I was cooking on a fire, on just like fire, um, and I was living from what people have. I was a food rescuers over there. I just went into the organized beach nearby my tent in weekends, and like collect everything people that left over there, and I just took it and live on it. And I have also savings from these jobs, and so I was like doing okay. I did not use a lot of money, and yeah, in storms, so you collect a lot of wood before the storm, and it's it's very fun. I will not lie, it's very fun. I want to do it again, but just like as a vacation, not as
Yeah,
a
exactly. Yeah.
way of living.
All right. And,
uh,
and, and during these months on the beach, did you continue to sleep well?
so it came and goes, but mostly it was quite okay. Honestly, yeah. And when I came back to civilization, it's the summer came, so I went back into my parents' house, and there, like, it's like this the bed and the smells and everything just remind me of the place I was, and it was came very very strong, the sleeping, the insomnia. Then I went into some unconventional therapy, I will call it, which I just took mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms, and with intention of like, okay, now you will help me understand what I'm doing wrong. Or LSD, like, I'm not really supposed to do those things on age of 20, and not with those intentions. And just, I did not find anything I'm doing wrong, and I was just in such a desperate place. I say, okay, what I need to do now is come back to nature. But in Israel, nature is very hot, so I fly to Italy, and I went there into the Alps. I was living in the Alps for almost a month, actually. And again, like, I'm sleeping good, but anything small, like, was take me completely out of balance. um then I came back to Israel. Like there, I was not sleeping so good most of the time. It's just like I could not escape it anymore. It was coming again and again, and like, I say, okay, I need to come back now to Israel, to my family. And then some miracle happened. I just by the YouTube's algorithm suggest me your channel, and first time like hearing interview, I think with a Swiss girl, no, Swedish girl. I'm not sure, and she talking, and I'm saying, wait, this is what's actually happens to me. Like it's the first time I understand my sleeping come from my not sleeping come from the fear of not sleeping. It's I could not connect it before that. It I was just like, okay, I anxious, but I was always anxious in my past. So I didn't know to say, okay, now I'm anxious because of the fear of what's coming next day. But and after that, I went into vacation with friends from my high school. And I remember like it was a long drive, long compared to Israel. It's 3 hours. We went into the north. And I was just, oh, I'm tired now, so I will sleep during the drive. Yeah, my friend drives, of course. It was the driver, not me, of course. So I just, all of a sudden, I just sleep in driving, which was absolutely miracle for me. I remember before that I was watching people doing it, and I felt like so much of jealousy, like how can you do it? Like I could not even imagine if it's possible for me to sleep, and I was just sleeping doing all this drive. And then when we get into the vacation, we were camping on some river in the north. I woke up very early, but because of the sun, so I just took the mattress out of the tent and move it into the shadow, and I back sleeping, Daniel, for 13 hours. 13 hours. I was just, oh my God, yes, I found it. Yeah, like I just need to not fear, and I will sleep good. It just, oh, it was such a miracle for me. Unfortunately, this offer did not last long, and I remember hearing. I want also to keep travel. I was still like kind of escaping it, like okay, now I know the source, but I want to sleep. It's good enough to know the source, and I want to sleep. So I saw one of your videos when you say um, like if you want to go on vacation, just do it. I know it's difficult, and some video like this, and I wanted to go into vacation, so I say, okay, now I go to Georgia, the country, not the city, not in the US, not the state. Yeah, that was. So there, my sleep became much better. Because now I know the source. Now I'm much more relaxed about it. My mind is still trying to find the way, which is not, which I'm just like, I'm fucked up, and I will never be able to sleep again. And it was back and forth, but it was overall much better than in Italy. I remind you, I'm still like in the loop of getting away from obligations, finding a job, like doing everything that not get into there. But I was in Georgia, and my credit card, my visa was swallowed by one of the ATM machines. Uh, and I'm like, now I'm stuck without any money. So I was sitting on the street and playing some kind of melodica, which is some kind of a small instrument to get some money. I was with my tent, so I did not need to pay for sleeping, but I need to pay for eating and stuff. And I called to my mother in Israel to buy me a flight ticket back to Israel. So after I came back, I start looking for a job in here, and then the war has started. I won't get into too many details, but it was mixing with the insomnia, very very intense time, like waking up from uh, explosions and from missile alarms and such. And then I decided that I want to volunteer to do a national. It's called in here a national service, which the people that don't go to army like doing a national service. So I went into a food organization, uh, food rescue organization, and then in Jerusalem, and then like the sleeping came back very very strong, the insomnia, because now I'm working again, and I have like very a tight schedule, so I kept for a therapist, and I found a CBT therapist, and he was okay. He was not like amazing. He said he have an experience, but he like we work on my fear, but it was not really really helpful. Sometimes it was better, sometimes it was not. And one time like uh, after I had a very good sleeping, I had a week that I sleeping very good. I slept very good during that week, and after that it's like insomnia. So I went into my therapist, and he said, Noam, you should try pills. And I said, like, what? After all these efforts, you want me to go to pills? I'm doing anything to avoid it. Who say, just give me a proof it does not work. And I was in shock because I was with in I was in therapy for 3 months with him, like doing a very difficult work, and it- so I just like, okay, I don't want to see you anymore. And what he said to me, like I need pills in order to sleep. It's just broke me completely. I was, and I have very big responsibility in the organization. I was event organizer, and like I had very important job with so many details, and I just completely broke back then. I remember uh, one event I organized like on no sleep at all, and I was just going into the room when the event like ran, and I just cry so hard. Like people came into the room and was seeing me crying, and like, Noam, are you okay? Are you okay? And I was completely broke. That's where I lost hope completely. I said like, okay, now I remember a funny thought I have. Like my father is very hardworking man, and he's doing it on 4 hours only. He sleep only 4 hours, like in order he will keep up with his schedule. So like he choose to sleep 4 hours. He not. So I said to myself, okay, I need to get into age of 40, and then I will be okay. Because it was a very very intense time, and I just went into doing so many weird thing. Like, I was just searching in the internet how to sleep, and okay, now you need to press here and press here and press here, and whoop, this, like, doing everything I can, absolutely everything I can, and I'm just not sleeping. Then after that, I found a very good therapist that people recommend me on him, and finally I felt like I know just at the first beginning that is the one I need, is the therapist I need. It was just like so practical and such an honest man. I remember one meeting, he said, okay, Noam, I think you're doing quite well, so we don't need to continue this meeting. You just paid me for half meetings. So he has all the rights to complete the meeting, but he said, like, okay, we don't have what to talk about, so just go and pay me less. And yeah, so with him, the way he approaches this, he just like recognize so good what I need, what I specifically need in order to heal, which is just doing what I'm scared of, but extremely. So the sleeping windows was so helpful for me. Like, I did not really hear about the sleeping windows from the previous therapist, but this is the first one to tell me to do it and like to keep up with it. And it was like, I'm like, what? I should put an alarm just for 4 hours? He said, yes, but you really sleep 3 hours, so what do you care? Just do it. I say, okay, that makes sense. So I was doing it, and it was such a big help for me. And it just recognized that what I need to do is what I'm scared of. Everything I need to do is what I'm scared of. So I asked him questions that I'm sure he knew the answer to them, but he told me, you need to do your own research. Like, try this, for example. I don't know if it's something I can bring that up here. So okay, never mind. It just tell me to do my own. Wait, are you editing this?
We almost never do. Almost always you just go through it. But if we need to edit, we can do.
Okay, so I will say it if you choose to delete it. Okay, so go for it. So I was asking him, like, if masturbation could help me with sleep or will not help me. So he told me, 1 week do this, masturbate before sleep, and 1 week do not. And just find it yourself. Like, you don't need me to find it. Like, this kind of mentality. And then suddenly he told me, okay, no, we cannot meet anymore. Like, you have all the tools you need to keep heal by your own. You don't need me for it. It was very expensive. My parents agreed to help me with it, but it was still very expensive for me. And it was just like, okay, I know you can't afford it, so just go. Like, okay, you know what to do now. And if you need me anytime, I'm here. So this is how I started, just a very long time of healing my insomnia myself. And one mistake I did repeatedly, which hopefully someone can learn from it, is like put me like a deadline of when I will heal. So, for example, okay, until my age of 21, I will heal, and until I will celebrate. Until I go to Cyprus, I went with my girlfriend into Cyprus, and then like until Cyprus, I will sleep good, and it's something that kept me back. It did not let me heal very good. Um, yeah, so I calling the therapist one time, and they like figure it out. He said, okay, you take your time. You have no, you don't have to stand any deadline. Like when it happened, it happened. So I finished my national service, and I start bartending, which was a consciously choice. I chose that consciously because was fearing from staying up late at night. So okay, now I'm working at night. And also my grandmother has a store that she need help very early in the morning to open the store. So I never said to her no after I finished, of course, my national service. Also, if I was working in the bar for until 4 a.m. and I need to wake up in 6:30 to open the shop, I was never tell her no, because I was just every time I was thinking it's no, no, no. So I just did that. And one time I woke up with very early with a lot of anxiety, uh, of insomnia anxiety, of course. And I was like, okay, I have a very busy next day. What should I do? How could I sleep? So I had the crazy idea. I woke up my girlfriend and I told her, you want to come travel with me? She lives very near to the Valley of the Cross in Jerusalem, which is also a Christian site. So I said, let's go there into a sunset tour, a sunset hike. She said, what? No, it's 4 a.m. Go back to sleep. I said, no, no, let's go. So she came with me. And this kind of little stuff, this is what helped me. I know for sure. Because I was searching very deeply inside of me where my problem is, what's wrong with me, which the simple in this case was very, very simple. It was not that deep at all. It was just, I'm just scared of not sleeping. And that's it. Like, nothing. Of course, from it, I learned how to love myself and forgive myself better. Like, because if you are not sleeping, like, for so many time, you must stop hate yourself at least for it. But the reason for not sleeping was not all this. I hear on your channel like people like finding themselves, and which is amazing, yeah. But for me, it was so simple. The answer to why am I not sleeping, and yes. So this is my
That is
story.
wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for sharing it, Noam. And I have some more questions, but thanks so much for the story. It was very, very helpful. And one sort of like critique that came up recently, and I heard it sometimes as people say, oh, people tell their story and then they're just like, oh, then I found Daniel's channel and then everything was fine from there. But oftentimes that isn't the case. There's continues to be up and downs, more things to learn, and you clearly show that in your story. So it's very, very helpful in that regard. And there's one thing, I mean, you made this point so many times, but I want to be super clear about it. In CBT-I, there is this thing called the sleep window that you know about, Noam, which is basically the idea that you actually spend like less time in bed, you know, and the tricky thing here is that oftentimes in CBT-I, then they say, oh, that is because you need to be really sleepy when you go to bed and build up the strong sleep drive, and that sleep drive will make you sleep. But that's not what your therapist said. He said more like, well, spend less time in bed because this is a way for you to face what you've been fearing. You're kind of like voluntarily making yourself more like being awake more, and you're kind of facing what you feared, and that's really helpful, right? Whenever we are willing to meet what we fear. So I just want to clarify that point.
Yeah.
And then um, let's just for kind of time frame wise, when you started, taking this bartender job and helping your grandma with the store, how long ago was that?
Um, like until I was completely cured, it was 6 months after I finished the national service. And like until I was just not thinking about it at all. Like in the bar, it was also something very helped me. I didn't mention is like um, telling myself, okay, now I did not sleep and I have very long shift to do, and how can I do it? And it was also my fear, like I'm afraid of not sleeping because I need to be able to do what I'm been expected from what I should do in my job. And I was just like noticing that there was not such a big difference between night that I sleep good and that I did not sleep good. I really checked that, and I was walking almost the same speed. When you're a bartender, you need to sometimes to be very quick and very sharp. Like so, also when I'm not, when I did not sleep, it did not had such a big effect on my work. Like it had, yeah, of course, obviously it had, but I was completely able to manage and doing everything I need to do. So not, let's say it was not 100%, but it's easily was 80% or 90% of my abilities, and which is like perfectly fine. So
And
yeah,
then,
that's
and then you felt much less pressure to sleep, right? In
oh
that way.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Now, all right. So let me ask you my two last questions, which I ask everyone. And first one is, if you could travel back in time to maybe even when you were in high school, or maybe when you were in the military school, prep school, and you struggle with insomnia, and if you could tell yourself something, what would you pick? What would you tell yourself?
Oh, that's a very good question. Um, like uh, you okay? I was telling myself that you are okay, you're doing very well, your life is okay, you just your problems is not that big. you are you're totally fine, just relax.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure that would have helped a lot. And finally, did you learn things? Actually, you already mentioned this, but I still want to ask you. Um, did you learn things going through this struggle with sleep that has helped in other aspects of your life?
Oh yeah, of course. So I was very not really did not love myself, and like I just learned to love myself more, like even though I'm not sleeping, even though I have so many problems, this is the only thing I really have and I can control, is like just loving myself and forgive myself. Like so many things, like removing control, not need to be that I learned that I don't need to be in control all the time, which is also something I hear a lot on your channel. um yeah, like I learned so many stuff from it. I'm not regretting having insomnia, I just yeah, if I could avoid it, I would avoid it, obviously, but I learned a lot.
Yeah, no, that's a perfect place to conclude here, because that message of self-love and self-compassion, it's so incredibly helpful. And I think all of us humans have this tendency to be kind of hard on ourselves, pressure ourselves. So I think we all need to hear that so much, so often. So let's conclude there, Noam. Thanks so much for being a guest and sharing your story, and please be in touch.
Thank you for letting me be in here, sharing my story.
Anytime. Anytime. Bye now. Bye bye.
Bye.
Hi, it's me, Daniel, and I hope the video you just watched made a ton of sense for you. That's, of course, what it's there for, to help you find the answers that lead away from insomnia into a place of peaceful sleep for the rest of your life. We share everything we know freely for this reason. However, finding the answers that are relevant to your specific circumstances may require some time and bandwidth that you may not have. Maybe you have a demanding job. Maybe you have children that rely on you. Maybe you have other obligations that take up much of that time and bandwidth that could have been so helpful on your path of leaving insomnia. If this sounds like your situation, then we have the perfect solutions for you, the Insomnia Immunity Program or BedTyme. In both these programs, we have a curriculum where the key teachings are laid out in a structured step-by-step fashion so you don't have to search for them. There's also somebody who understands insomnia, who can answer your questions in a timely way so you don't have to spend your time and your bandwidth searching for those key answers. If either of these options sound like something you'd like to explore, then go to our website, thesleepcoachschool.com. And if you decide to join, we look forward to seeing you on the other side.